Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in this video, I am going to start with the Cambridge theory of money demand. Those who have not seen in the last video, I explained you that we are going to start with the theories of money demand. I request all of you to please go and watch that video first. That was an introduction of what is theory of money demand, and that there are so many theories. There are classical theories, there is Keynesian theory, and then there are post-Keynesian theories also. So this is the second video. In the first video we did about the Fisher's theory. We understood what is Fisher's theory, and this is the video about the Cambridge theory. So let's start with this quickly. So first of all, Cambridge theory is also known as the Cambridge cash balance theory. Okay, this theory was proposed by Alfred Marshall and Arthur Cecil Pigou, as you can see on the slide, and both of them were the economists at the Cambridge University, right? That is why this is known as the Cambridge theory. Now the Cambridge theory and the Fisher's theory, both are the classical theories, right? I told you the classical theories are the theories that existed before the year 1930s, right? So both of them are classical theories. They were very similar to each other, but there's a very little minor difference in the concepts of the theories. Fisher's only assumed that people need money for transaction purpose, right? लोगों को पैसे सिर्फ exchange करने के लिए, buy and sell करने के लिए चाहिए होते हैं. He only focused on that thing. But in Cambridge theory, the economists they also focus कि money को लोग storage के लिए भी use करते हैं. People use money for the store of value as well. That is a little difference between the theories. So let's understand both the theories first. Number one, so Cambridge, Alfred Marshall and Arthur Cecil Pigou, they both said that yes, demand for money depends on the rate of interest also, that depend on the wealth also, that depend on the future expectation in the prices. मतलब future में क्या prices change होने वाले हैं उस पर भी money की demand depend करती है. But they said कि ये जो factors हैं, these factors remain more or less constant. They said these factors do not change that much. That is why they did not incorporate these factors in their equations, right? And so in this theory, in the Cambridge cash balance theory, what they propose that demand for money depends on the income of the individual. So they said एक इंडिविजुअल की जितनी इनकम होती है उस पर डिपेंड करेगा कि वो कितनी डिमांड फॉर मनी करता है. सो इफ़ यू अंडरस्टैंड ऑन द मैक्रो लेवल, सो एट द मैक्रो लेवल what is the national income of the country, that will decide the demand for money in that economy. This is what they propose. So let me show you the equation for the Cambridge theory. This is the equation given by them. MD is equal to KPY. So if you remember the Fisher's theory में MD, that is demand for money, was KPT. T was transactions of goods, right? So here they have changed that T with the Y. फर्क क्या है? See, T was transactions of goods that are happening in the economy, यानी कि goods कितने sell और buy हो रहे हैं. So according to the Fishers, जितना प्राइस होगा, वॉट एवर इज द प्राइस इन द इकोनॉमी, और जितना ट्रांजैक्शन होगा, जितने गुड्स परचेज एंड सेल होंगे, सो पीपल विल हैव टू कीप दैट मच ऑफ मनी. उतना कैश लोगों को कंपल्सरी अपने पास डिमांड फॉर मनी रखना पड़ेगा. दैट इज वॉट फिशर्स अप्रोच वॉज. बट केम्ब्रिज का अप्रोच है, दिस विल डिपेंड ऑन द इनकम ऑफ द पीपल. जितने लोगों की इनकम होगी उसके बेसिस पे पीपल विल डिसाइड हाउ मच मनी दे वॉन्ट टू कीप विद देम. सो दिस वॉज लाइक एन ऑप्शन फॉर द पीपल कि इतना पैसा वो अपने पास रख सकते हैं. इट इज़ नॉट कंपल्सरी फॉर देम, बट स्टिल दे प्रपोज द थ्योरी इन रिलेशन टू द इनकम, एंड दैट इज रेलिवेंट ऑल्सो. सो लेट मी जस्ट एक्सप्लेन द वेरिएबल्स फर्स्ट. के क्या है, सॉरी, वाई इज द रियल नेशनल इनकम इन रियल टर्म्स. पी इज द जनरल प्राइस लेवल दैट इज गोइंग ऑन इन द इकोनॉमी. सो पी वाई क्या हो जाता है? पी वाई बिकम्स द नॉमिनल नेशनल इनकम. सो ही सेड सपोज माई इनकम इज 100 rupees. So I will demand the money according to those 100 rupees. Even if the prices are going up and high, that doesn't matter. I will take care into my nominal income. So tomorrow if my income increases by 200 rupees and the prices are also increasing, let's say the prices are also increasing by double, so he says the demand for money will increase because it does not, because in real terms if you see my income has not changed, right? If my income was 100 and it has increased to 200, prices have also doubled. So in real terms my income has not changed, but Cambridge proposed that it's not like that. Even if the income is increasing in nominal terms, then also the demand for money will change. So this is a very a logical concept that was given by the Cambridge economist. And K understood here, it is the proportion of the national income that people want to keep in the form of cash. अपनी इनकम का कितना percentage people want to keep in the form of cash. So this is a very simple theory. As for the Cambridge economist, the demand for money depends on the income of the country, because we're talking at the national level, right? So it is a certain portion for that, KPY. Now let me show you the diagrammatic version for it. According to the diagram, they said that demand for money is directly proportional to the income. That means if the income will increase, the demand for money will also increase. So it will have to be a positive sloping line. So here on x-axis I have shown the national income, and on y-axis we have the demand for money. Since there is a direct relationship, the line will go upwards. So that is what they said, that demand for money is directly proportional to the national income. And slope will definitely depend on K. K means how much percentage you want to keep in the form of money. This was a theory proposed by Cambridge. It's a very simple theory and pretty similar to the Fisher's theory of money demand. And at last, there is a criticism for the classical theory. What is the reason that classical theories failed? As I told you, these theories prevailed only before the era of 1930s. 1930s, the world was under the Great Depression, the economies were crashing, and our economists did not have any explanation for that. उनके पास कोई explanation नहीं था that why is the economy crashing. So at that time, all the theories failed. So there is a criticism for the money demand also. Criticism was that these theories, although they made a fairly relevant point that demand for money depends on the income as well as the price level. That is absolutely correct. But they did not incorporate one very major factor. See, rate of interest also depends. Future expectations, I mean, लोग फ्यूचर में क्या एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं कि उनको कितना कैश अपने पास रखना चाहिए. They did not incorporate these elements in their theories, right? So that is why these theories were highly criticized and they are not used today. It was for the first time that Keynes came with a proper model where he introduced the interest element also, where he said that yes, interest also determines the demand for money. So that was the Keynesian theory of money demand, where we are going to incorporate the rate of interest also, right? So as far as these are the classical theories, we have done two theories under the classical theories, that is the Fisher's theory, and we have done the Cambridge theory also. Okay, Fisher's theory is also called quantity theory of money demand, and Cambridge theory is also called the cash balance theory of money demand. So I hope you all have understood this thing. I hope you like the video. If you like the video, please give me a thumbs up. Do write in the comment section and please subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much everyone. Keep learning.